Captain, well, remember everything. I guess. Alphas, appearance, predator, GFRAS, GFRAS. Only one? I'm number policymaker. Number two, policymaker.
No, today, yeah. Yeah. Thanks so much.
Partnership?
Very well. Welcome back. This is the final plenary session we have before lunch. Um, um, we will take on 20 minutes for this so we can close the discussion of this morning and then we can move to lunch. For some of you it's a bit late, but that's how we designed the program, and I'm sure that we can be well rewarded with the delightful lunch buffet that we always have. Good. We have now the representatives of the four groups, the four thematic groups, who were looking at the different discussion results you had from the regional groups. So there was a lot of changing this morning, but also a lot of very intensive discussions and exchanges. We have Julian, who is presenting the group of partnerships between and amongst regions. We have Oladele, who is representing the groups who was looking at partnerships with policymakers. Mahesh, who looks or was discussing partnering with the Agriculture Innovation System, and Andrea, who was in the group with the financial partnerships. I will ask each one of them 3 questions only, and then I would like to go to the floor, so that you can also ask them what happened in the group, and if they don't know the answer, maybe somebody else knows too. But we'll do that only until 1:15, so that we have another time in the afternoon. So I would like to start with you, Andrea, so that you tell us the one recommendation when it comes to partnering with financial partners. One recommendation you think that is important for all our participants that were not in your group, of course, you think this is something you should take home. Please.
Okay, we had many recommendations. The one that I'd like to share with this group is, when you're seeking financial partnerships, it's not about what you want. You need to listen very carefully what that potential financial partner wants. You need to show that partner how what you can offer to the partner helps that organization achieve its goals.
Thank you very much. So it's about listening. Don't go too fast. I have a different question for Martin. Did you discuss any example, any story, any, let's say, recommendation that's something you say you should not do? Something that different people have tried, it did not work, so don't do this. Did you discuss any?
No, we didn't discuss that.
Anybody else, Oladele or Julian? About in your group, did you discuss any example as something you should not do? Yes? Then please, Oladele. Can you give the mic to Oladele? Oladele was in the group of partnerships with policymakers.
Yeah, they should not be excluded in the process. The policymakers should be part of our success stories. And like one of the panelists mentioned yesterday, that seeing is believing. So when we try to make partnership with policymakers, the policymakers should not be excluded. Neither should any actors in the value chain be excluded.
Thank you very much, Oladele. So working with the policymaker from the very beginning in order to understand what he needs, what he wants, what kind of evidence maybe he needs, or what kind of different instrument he needs. Then we'll go back to Mahesh. Mahesh, from your group, from the group of partnering in the Agriculture Innovation System, what key recommendation would you give?
Actually, we found that many partners are missing from the agriculture innovation systems. For example, private sector and donor community, it is not there. We have to try to get on board these missing partners so that we can benefit more. This is one recommendation we can give. And second recommendation, if you want that I can give, that extension professionals, they should have better self-realization. What they are meant for, they should do it. That there is, and for agriculture innovation system, the thing is that there is trust deficit. People don't trust others, and they should have trust on others to click on. This is what is some of the recommendations from the group.
Thank you very much, Mahesh. I think working with the private sector, working more with the private sector, that's raised in all our meetings. But we have seen that there's one representative from the private sector here. Did your group discuss on how to engage together more concrete with the private sector? Do you have any recommendations on that?
It was discussed a little bit, but idea was that it is the major responsibility of the extension professional to work hard on this, how to get them into. So this not beyond that we didn't.
Thank you very much. So the question goes to Julian, who was working in the group that between and amongst regions. Do you have a key recommendation for the group?
We discussed, for example, activities and what to do, and we found that first things to do is to promote learning. Another one we discussed was to systematize experiences. A third one would be an effective use of existing platforms, and the most important was in every single table to promote and support South-South processes and learning.
Now, we used to work in the first group work. We were writing on cards, and you had to choose whether it's a green card, it means that you have very positive experiences, or rather a blue card, which meant we do have experiences, we do have knowledge, but it could be improved, or even an orange card, which means we have very little experiences. So I would like to know, we can start with you, Oladele, in your group, talk about policymakers. What kind of colored cards did you get? What's your image on all the networks that are here? Are they on rather have a lot of difficulties or red cards, or is it rather the blue and green area?
From all the regional networks, and we have a lot of examples, like from GFRAS, it was pointed out that policy issues should be based on specific issues, and then they should be timely in order to gain the attention of the policymakers. We have the example of the EU, GFRAS, that the members pay their fees and sustain their linkage to the policy organization, and you get educated through the process. We have the example from GFRAS that uses continental bodies, sub-regional organizations, and national governments getting into agreements and partnership with them in order to have inroads into each of the countries when a regional policy or a collective continental policy is not feasible or not possible in that region.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to hear that on the policy level we rather on the green and the bluish side. What's the situation with the financial partners on that?
We have the definitely some more things to do, but the great news is that there's a lot of energy, a lot of good ideas on how to move forward. So it may not be plastered with green, but hardly any orange or red cards. Lots to do. We know they're moving forward. Lots of good ideas, lots of good energy.
Thank you very much. Mahesh, what was the situation when you look at the agriculture innovation system? Was it more to the green or more to the orange?
So largely we can say it is green, but we found that we have to walk a lot. It's just a beginning since.
Thank you. Julian, when we look at the partnerships between and amongst regions, what's the color situation there?
Well, luckily we were the last one. I'm the last one, in fact, to present, but we got 6 cars, and over 5 were the green ones. So we were doing the things well, I guess. And there's only 1 red car. So there's not much homework to do, luckily. And I guess, as I told, we are in the right way.
Thank you very much, Julian. I would like to open the panel, the question of you. You can address specific groups, but you can also pose the question into the plenary. We will take 1 question, answer it, and we do that until 1:15. So the shorter the question, the shorter the answer means the more questions we come.
I have a question to Andrea. your first statement a little bit scared me because I think or do you think, isn't it a little bit dangerous to follow in the development the the objectives of those who are financing, but not your own objectives, vision and mission?
There definitely is a risk, but I mean, think about it when somebody comes to you personally, maybe your child asking for money for something, it has to align with your values and your expectations. So think of it maybe more not as selling yourselves to them and doing whatever it is that the donor wants, but you're starting a negotiation process. But the start of is really careful listening. There's certain types of activities, certain types of engagements that a certain donor will and can fund. To really need to understand that donor and where that donor is coming from. They in turn have to get money from somewhere else. So it's not like they are as flexible as you may want them to be. It starts with listening, but you do have to make your point, but you have to phrase it so that they can see, oh, this is a win-win situation.
Just raise your hand if you have a question. Just behind you is a person. Okay, I haven't seen any.
Thank you. I just want to follow up on this discussion. I think, just like my friend here, I'm worried. I think this is the problem in the development community today, that we give you money, you do what you want us to do. And it's a very serious problem. I don't see any help in that one. If you cannot attend to my needs, good. We part ways from there and I'll go someplace else. Because we see it as handout, take it, do it my way. And I think this is still a major problem in the development community. And I think we have to look at it more seriously. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think a response to that is to say we are matching visions, matching ideas, matching goals, but not dictating. If AGRA is not into seed production or soil health, and you come and say you need money on seed production, how do I give you money? We should just refine it to say that you are not dictating, but at least we are working towards a common, final, defined goal. And I think that is what listening is referring to here.
Thank you. Also, we can applaud whenever you would like. I have another question here.
I have a question and also a reflection. I would like to know what are we understanding under the term private sector? Because we have discussed a lot in our group about the involvement of small farmers, small producers, and also in our local, regional forums, and also in this type of forums. I think we are missing more producers, small producers, to reflect what do they think about what we are talking.
Thank you. So, any reaction from the panel? You know the rights, we can open the discussion with other participants.
Yeah, I think when we say private sector, we are looking at an existing gap that somebody is trying to make profits out of it in filling that gap. And if there is business about it, and it is not going to be exploitative for the smallholder farmers, why not? Or are we saying that smallholders must just receive free gifts? If farming is a business and there is a gap, and a player is coming in to fill that gap at a cost, I think they will do it better and sustainably than when we say it should just be free. I think that's what the private sector we are talking about here in that context.
Thank you, Oladele. I have another question from Fernando. We have translation Spanish, English, so will you speak in the language you would like?
In fact, I think I wanted to point out that it's a danger that we could be being framed by the organizations who provide funds, mostly international and North organizations. Money is being taken and accepted by local organizations or poor countries that need that money, but the policies or the structure of the proposal are being framed by who donates the money, and maybe it's not the way in which the local communities and the countries themselves need that money. So accepting that money is a need, but many times it's not really helping local people because of being framed and organized by other logics, which are not of the people.
I saw the head movements, so I think there's an overall agreement on what you said. Is there any, I would like to open the floor to all of the groups, to all of the questions, maybe, let's say, let's look at other items which are not so much related to financial funding. I have a question here in front.
Thank you very much. My take is that interventions should be needs-based, demand-driven. We must know what the farmers, the producers, or the processors, wherever we want to intervene along the value chain, what they want. We must also take into cognizance the national environment. What works in Brazil may not necessarily work in Nigeria. So you must engage the national players, what we call the champions at the national level. Based on past experiences, there might have been some interventions in the past that failed. We must learn from the experiences of the past. So when development partners, financial development partners are coming, they must study and understand the national environment before they can come in. And like I always say, the overhead cost should be reduced. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's come back to the topic of partnerships. Partnerships amongst regions, partnerships with policymakers, with financial partners. I have another question here, and please raise your hand very high so that I can see.
One short remark. We are always going for policy development, but we have to have policies, yes. But we have not only policies, we should have also strategies, and we have to have fundings. Then we cannot stop. We have to develop the policy, and then we stop here. It's a long way to go after. The policy development is the easiest way. The implementation then later, the funding is a long way to go.
Thank you very much. Was that discussed in any of the group today? Would you like to react? Thank you very much.
In our group, one of the take-home points is that we should be convincing and continuing lobbying the policymakers in the processes so that there is continuation even after we have that partnership created, the policy will still go ahead to be implemented.
Thank you very much. I have a last question or intervention or remark from Tom Nyonge from IFA.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to mention that, I mean, I saw quite a number of samples to donors. But in many cases, particularly from an IFA perspective, we are on the side of farmers. And a very real case here is our engagement with farmers. When we started engagement in terms of how we work together, the question from IFA has always been, okay, all what you're doing in GFRAS at content level, we want to know what does it mean to the farmer in the village. How does the farmer have access to resources, I mean to services? And I think that is what drove our deliberations and eventual partnership that we are seeing now flourishing. We had one common goal. that that farmer in the village services have to reach him or her. And that was what drove our discussions. And it was zooming out to GFRAS and zooming in to the village. That was exactly what went on. So it's not a question that donors always prescribe and want you to follow their ways. In most cases, I know many donors, their main aim is there's a difference in the village to smallholder farmers so their lives get better. That is one. When it comes to partnership, one of the things I wanted to mention is what is emerging from our relationship with GFRAS is that the GFRAS is about the members of the country forum. It is the entities that provide service, whether they're the public or NGOs or private sector, even village operators. And what we also see is that because of the emerging dynamics within this country forum, we are having spin-offs in partnerships. We are seeing NGOs within the umbrella of a country forum already engaging with an NGO of a country forum of another country. So this spin-off relationship that emerged because of this bigger framework being set out, I think is also critical.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tom, for these insights from IFA. We are going to close this session now. We have had a long morning, and thank you very much to the four of you. Please stay here for one more second. Yes.
If you don't mind, I would like to do a brief conclusion of what I think.
Oh, wait. You need a microphone, and then we need the okay from all the 165 participants to stay here another 5 to 10 minutes. And if not, we will close. Because if we have one closing statement, we have 4 closing statements. Do we stay another 5 minutes? 1 minute? Let's negotiate here. 5. No. Okay. So I think I didn't get any angry face, or it didn't come until. What I would like you to invite them. It's a final statement. If everything is said, there's no final statement. Make it in a minute.
Okay. I give you 30 seconds.
But with the microphone.
Okay, I will be very, very brief, and I will be telling my conclusions in only 30 seconds. We have been discussing over the last 3 days that we are working on and focused on a target. The target is the farmer. And I would say also that although the target is the farmer, the most important is the family farmer. Because the weak you are, the more important you are. So we are all in the same train. We have different wagons, but we are on the same train, we are on the same track, and we have the same direction and the same final station. That's all.
Thank you very much, Julia. Any final statements?
Okay. We have examples of how partnership was dealing with policymakers from the different networks. So we are also proposing in our group that all this should be collated and should be shared so that we can learn from each other.
Thank you. Mahesh or Andrea? Andrea.
Yes, actually, we had several recommendations on financial partnerships, and so please stay tuned to this station where you will receive a summary statement of all of those. And with regard to the somewhat controversial statement I made, I look forward to having one-on-one discussions on that topic.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Andrea. A very important remark. All the groups worked on different recommendations. They had a very lively discussions. We had minute takers, and we took pictures of what you worked on. We will gather all the different cards, and they will be in the minutes. So, well, as I say, visit the GFRAS website soon, and you will get all the information there. We shall meet again in 1.5 hours, minus 3 minutes. That's the 3 minutes taken away from us. 15 to 3 for the final closing panel and the formal closing. I will mention 2 things again. One, some of these chairs will be empty. So if you have a comment, a thought, any recommendation, you can take the seat for 30 seconds a minute, and then go down again so that all the simultaneous. The second one is a logistical one. The same I said in the morning. There is no need to take your headphones with you. Leave them here. They're not of any use during lunch. Leave them here. I'm looking forward to seeing you again at 2:45. Thank you.
Yeah.